Hello. So today I want to talk about activity tokens. Now, an activity token is an ephemeral account. This means it's created at the start of a session and then removed at the end. Now, when the user is using the account, we're going to add permissions and we can do things like purge Kerberos tickets at the end. So a good example of this is we're going to create, using this login account template, we look at the target domain, so that's the domain of the system the user is trying to log on to. And then we look at the user SAM account name. And what we're going to do is create the account that starts with the user SAM account name. So here we can see, because the user is J Smith, we have an account that's created on the domain and it's padded out to 20 characters. So it's got some randomness. Now, if we take a look on the domain, we'll see here's the account it's just created and it's added it to domain admins. Now, when the user has finished doing what they're doing, at the end of a session, we're going to remove all of those permissions. And if we take a look at the domain again, we'll find that account no longer exists. So pretty simple concept, added at the start and removed at the end. Now, what if we want to add some sort of qualifier? Because let's say, we have a lot of random characters and we want to identify, I want to see who that user actually is. So what I could do is maybe add a couple of dashes in my template. Now what this means is when we create the account, instead of just the user SAM account name transitioning to the random characters, what this will do is actually add the two dashes. So you see we got the user's name, the dashes, then we have the random characters. That means it's very easy to distinguish the user's SAM account name. Let's say we want to go a step further and we don't even want to create an account on the domain itself. I actually want to create an account purely on the local system. So I can remove the domain element out of the login template. I'm going to remove the domain group. And what I'll do is I'm going to add the user to a local group. So in this case, let's say we're just going to add them to remote desktop users. So this is going to create an account based on the SAM account name on the local system, add them to remote desktop users. Okay, so in this scenario, you'll see that it's now created that account actually on Jumphost. So if we take a look at Jumphost, you'll see here's that account. And as we can see, it's a member of remote desktop users. So that means the account can now log on. And indeed, if I was to click on the proxy icon, we can see the user is able to connect through and successfully log on to that host using that local account that we've just created. Now, when we finished, we can hit cancel session. That will now log off the session because any account that's logged on as ephemeral, we are going to automatically log out because the account won't exist afterwards. And if we take a look on that system, we'll see that account has disappeared. So as we can see from this demonstration, we can use a login account template to vary exactly how we want it to be created. Now we can also use implicit names. I could use SbLab/SAM account name. I could say SbLab/XYZ. And if I do that, it should still create an account in the domain, but it will start with XYZ. So we can try that. As you can see, it's created on the domain and it starts with XYZ. So what we're doing essentially here is really just providing a capability to be able to log administrators onto endpoints, but make sure that the account that's created gets removed again afterwards. So essentially we are adding the permissions on the way in and then removing them on the way out. I hope this is helpful. Thanks for your time.